Saved my life. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Out in the streets of City 17, civil protection run a rigid machine. Break down my door, take me down to the station. They got ideas, said I got information. My natural charm is only getting me so far. When out of the black, I see the shape of a crowbar. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Back for freedom with a brainstorm. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Like a Chuck Norris in a geek form. Completely silent, a violent creature. Despite looking like a geography teacher. Moves at the speed of a cheetah in its prime. Apparently he ain't running on valve time. I watch as the combine that turn into fleeing. They vanish into thin air like episode 3, yeah. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Back for freedom with a brainstorm. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Like a Chuck Norris in a geek form. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Back for freedom with a brainstorm. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Like a Chuck Norris in a geek form. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Back for freedom with a brainstorm. Gordon Freeman saved my life. Like a Chuck Norris in a geek form. Back for freedom with a brainstorm. Like a Chuck Norris in a geek form. Back for freedom with a brainstorm. Like a Chuck Norris in a geek form. Freedom with a brainstorm.
Hmm. 嗯  ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 ， 嗯 Welcome, race fans from around the globe. Here they come, out of turn 4, to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to 1 to Go Studios coverage of the 2021 season, number 2, North-South Racing League's ARCA Series, presented by 5-Star Realty Group, J&G Hardwood Flooring, Kelly's Custom Engraving, and Track Time Entertainment. Tonight, we bring you coverage of Round 2 live from Martinsville Speedway in Ridgeway, Virginia. Thank you for tuning in tonight for the Havoc at the hot dog stand 125. Guys are out on the track qualifying. The top 26 advanced to tonight's features. The remainder drivers will battle it out for an LCQ, where the top 4 will advance to finish the 30-car field for tonight's event. I already see Kenneth Dula there. He went to the popcorn stand. He didn't bring me anything, but hey, at least he's out here watching. Matt, if you're out here watching, give us a shout out. We like to have interaction here at 1 to Go Studios. We're watching all the feeds. Yes, give us a little type there. We'll shout back to you. Right now, guys are out on the racetrack. You see the overview shot of Martinsville, the paperclip, as the ARCA cars start to get out on the grid, trying to find their way to that top 26 to advance to tonight's feature. As we wait for these guys to get done with that, we're on the paperclip half-mile track here at Martinsville under the lights tonight. Guys will be battling out for 125 laps. You see we got 2 minutes, 50 seconds, 3/4 left. Next week's at Atlanta Motor Speedway. There are no fast repairs tonight. iRacing flags only. Full set fuel. 2 tires sets in the pit stop. Lucky dog in effect. As I said, 20 cars will advance on time to the feature. The remaining cars will battle it out for the top 4 going into the feature. Take 30 cars with an inversion up to 10 at the grid time. Last week's winner was Brian Holman, and he was the first winner of the ARCA Series at the North-South Racing League at North Wilkesboro. And Ryan Johnson, Nichols, Kevin Barrett Jr., and Matt Dula with Justin Grosher there, with a 3-way tie for 4th. So your top 5 plus the 6th driver there. Already with the standings pretty tight there. The North did get a win at the South track last week. So we are at a North track this week, so the South's going to be looking to return the favor. So about a minute and a half left in qualifying. We'll get to that LCQ. We got 28 drivers already posting times. It looks like we'll have a 5-car shootout for 4 spots in an LCQ. 1 minute remaining in the event here. Just under half a minute here. We finish up the grid so we can move on. Janin. Gonna see if he can get a lap in 10 seconds. I'm not sure he's gonna be able to do it. That will be it tonight. So we'll get right to it, guys. Gridding up here for the first heat race. Oh, Matt Allen, Michael Van, Chuck Sweating, Dan Janjanin, and James Grimm will shoot it out for the 4 spots. So one guy will go home early tonight. Quite sure what's going on with the guys right now, but there we go. They're starting to come out on the track now. Here they are. All right, 15 laps or 20 minutes, or 15 minutes or 15 laps, whichever happens first. 5 cars out on the racetrack. 4 spots up for grabs. April Orth, good luck to the tiny horse. And they will definitely be doing battle here, as Kenneth Dula reminds us that he really likes the heat race format because the drivers got to go for broke to get into the race. And he's already, the pace car is off of the racetrack. So here we go. There we go. The 44, Matt Allen, is your race leader. There you go. Matt Allen, race leader. Right behind is Dan Janjanin. Looks like only 4 cars took to the grid. So all 4 will make it, but they're going to be fighting for position out here. Dan Janjanin slides around there. And the caution's out. Caution laps do not count in the heat races. But they will get set back up to where they were at the completion of lap number 2 and start it up again. Restart our overlays. Our overlays definitely do not like heat system, but I will get that fixed, I promise. At 44, Matt Allen looking to continue to hold the lead. And number 02 of Dan Janjanin issued the EOL for the spin, bringing out the caution. A shout out to Michael Xavier in the race control trailer. Sometimes a thankless job, but keeps the racing clean by issuing immediate penalties to drivers who may have pushed it just a little bit. Shout out to all the race controllers out there. Definitely a thankless job, but somebody has to do it. Otherwise, we have drivers just running into everybody. Thank you to our presenting sponsors. The 5-Star Realty Group is located on the Emerald Coast in beautiful Panama City, Florida. 5-Star Realty Group has years of experience in residential properties, investment opportunities, vacation rentals, and commercial properties, and looks forward to helping you with all your real estate needs. You check out the 5-Star Realty Group, title sponsor for the ARCA series. This is for season number 2, as we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Four cars trying to get that set in there as Chuck Sweating in the 75 just got the fastest lap. Working the end of 4 here on the paper clip as the 44 leads them to the stripe. Matt Allen just put up the fastest time, 21:157. Happy Joe says, good luck, Matt. All these guys will advance to tonight's feature. They will be 27 through 30 on the grid based on their finishing positions in the qualifier, last chance qualifier. Big shout out to the sponsors you see down in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Please shop our sponsors if you are able to. If you're looking for anything that they provide, we will continue to bring the good racing here in the North-South Racing League. Is the 75 coming up on that 44 car, looking on the outside, going to tuck in behind him. Kind of just riding around single file, looking for a way to get around is that 75. 44, 75, and that 02 machine of Dan Janjanin. All together here, and then Michael Van just in that 13 machine, a little bit back, 3.5. He knows he's going to make the qualifier. No chance, no reason to tear up the card early on. 44 at 75, looking to continue to move forward at 75 is. Tonight's fan cam up in the grandstands here at Martinsville. Got a good seat on the front stretch as he's looking on. As Dan Janjanin looking on the outside of 75 and pulls out. 5 laps to go here. .44 and that's 75. Matt Allen led every lap so far as a 75 looks to go inside. Side by side, coming off at turn 2. Looks like the 75 has the position. 44 gets a little bit sideways coming off the corner. The new race leader, Chuck Sweating in a 75. Chuck's off for a whole second ahead now as he's put the fastest time down to 21.052. 2 laps to go. Sticks out for the number 75. So he gets the 1 to go. 1 to go from 1 to Go Studios. Final lap for the 75. He's coming around and he's getting his last. There's the checkered flag. Advancing these 4 drivers on to the grid. There's our results. So Sweating, Allen, Janjanin, and Van advanced. Grimm did not take any laps. So 4 of 4 going up into tonight's Havoc at the hot dog stand 125. That was your LCQ. Presented by 5-Star Realty Group. No. Right, so 5 minutes of practice now. Well, 5 minutes of practice for these guys. We'll let that get going. And then we will go over the grid, as the grid does get inverted up to 10, so we'll have to check what happens tonight. Another one representing sponsors, J&G Hardwood Flooring. J&G Hardwood Flooring is a small family-owned business which started in 2005, located in Christiana, Tennessee. It serves all of Middle Tennessee. Owners Josh and Brandon Klasinski have a combined 35 years of experience to serve all of your flooring needs, from new construction, remodels, or even small repairs. For estimates and scheduling, call 615-904-2218 for J&G Hardwood Flooring. Also, shout out to Kelly's Custom Engraving, providing tonight's in-car cameras. Kelly Custom Engraving is a locally owned and operated business located in Bolivarville, North Carolina, specializing in custom engraving of wood, leather, glass, acrylic, and many more materials. Be sure to like and follow their Facebook page to view all their amazing products and place your order. The Kelly's Custom Engraving, if you have not gone over to the North-South Racing League page, it was provided the showdown plaques for last week's winners. And I believe last week's winner had posted that he has received his already. Congratulations to Matt Allen. His engagement's announced today to his fiancee Gabrielle. So, man, gets engaged today and he's still out here racing. I don't know how you start that, man, but good job, I guess, to Matt Allen. Congratulations, Matt. And if she's letting you race after that, or an engagement party, good for you. It's from Ray Richer out here putting that up. Gavin Glinsky says, woohoo, Randy, woohoo. Yeah, she must be a keeper if she's letting him race. Definitely. So the NSRL page is hopping. Oh, Kathy Joe says, congratulations, Matt. Turn left, Randy Nichols. All right. Make me turn left, huh? And yo, I'm going to try this. Gandara says, woohoo, Randy ×2. Lots of comments, lots of happy people out here. Shout out to the Heart Crate for Randy. Yeah. An 11S machine. Look at that Heart Crate 11 machine right there, as he's currently holding the second spot in warm-up. Up 40 seconds left before we can go over the grid, which is presented by the 5-Star Realty Group. One more sponsor to throw out here, and we'll talk about these guys throughout the evening. Track Time Entertainment is located in Texas and builds custom driving simulators with a personal touch. Rigs are fully customizable with color options and utilizes the 80/20 U.S. extruded aluminum. These rigs offer a wide range of adjustability as well as different options for wheels, shifters, and keyboards. The possibilities are endless. If you can dream it, Track Time Entertainment can build it for you. Track Time Entertainment is providing the Hard Charger Award, offering a discount as well. The Hard Charger will be the car that gains the most positions in the race today. His picture end is taken and he's posted in the Facebook page with his own write-up highlighting the accomplishment. All right, so we are going to check out tonight's racing lineup, as it looks like I'm waiting for everything to settle in. Tell me what we did for the inversion tonight. All right, so your grid for tonight: Brian Holman inside row 1, Randy Nichols on his outside, Jared Apple. Now I can look at it here. It looks like we inverted the top 4 drivers were inverted. So Jared Apple was 3rd. Brian Johnson, who was the fastest car, is in the 4th spot. In the 5th spot is Gary Eschen. Outside of him is Kevin Barrett Jr., Josh Nelms, and JD Rich in row number 4. Row 5, Philip Martin and Will Eastman. Row 6, Travis Hoffler and Justin Grosser. Row 7, rolling out 13th, is Jason Gordon and Matt Dula on the outside. Inside row number 8, in the 15th spot is Jared Mogard and Joe Witowski. Outside of him in the 24 machine. 17th and 18th is Chad Applegate and Justin White. Row 10, Thomas Stewart and Robbie Clavey. Jeff Mathis and Marshall Johnson in row 11. Row 12, Shane Loveridge and Kirk Sagert. Drew Holleran and Greg Polsky in row 13. Row 14 is Chuck Sweating and Matt Allen, and Dan Janjanin and Michael Van will be starting in the back in row 15. That was your grid by 5-Star Realty Group for the Havoc at the hot dog stand 125. These guys are getting ready to go. Some people, we're putting back to the rear. So the 51 will lead us to the first green. We did have some drivers that, especially this leads some EOLs, and the race winner from last week is an EOL, so that's where Brian Holman was end of longest line. So that puts Jared Apple in that 51 into the position of the race leader, with Gary Eschen, that 23 Jordan machine, and Randy Nichols in that number 11 Heart Crate, top 3, as we have started racing here, finishing lap 2, as you see Gary Eschen and that number 11 machine doing battle off of turn number 4. Jared with the fastest lap. Caution out on the raceway. Back at our replay here, see if we can find what was going on. 99 up off the wall there. And 46 turns it around. You know, just hold the brakes there, so 46 around, causing the caution. We'll put him in the back of the pack, so we'll see what everybody else is going to do. First caution of the day. Ray Richard out there pushing out for the sponsors on the page. Man, you want a job? Help me out here, definitely. Making sure that I get to all the sponsors. Good job by Ray Richard. All right, so we got 30 racers out here today. Pretty packed here at the paperclip as we're finishing lap 4. I'm in TeamSpeak up in the admin in the booth channel. We definitely, we do keep an open booth for those that want to have some fun and join us from time to time. We don't mind. Always good to have somebody to bounce some thoughts off of. To see what's going on in there. All right, so here we go. Back to green flag racing. That's 51 off. 11 and the number 3 now. Tiny Horse looking to go on the outside of Gary Eschen. Whoa, to 11 down across the 23's nose. A little close there. Get back to the 23. Let's see that action here. And no matter how many times I see that number 3 tied, I love that car. It's really good. And let's get to our intervals so we can see what's going on the ticker board. 9 laps being worked here as the 51 stretching out its lead to about a half a second. At number 11 and 23 and the 3 machine. So we're looking at the 23 in that 3rd spot. There are the lights here at Martinsville, so racing, night track racing at its finest. 147 in restart violations. So the 47 will be issued a penalty here. He's all the way back in 30th right now. Just had the fastest lap. Let me double check who that was. Justin Grosser in the 38 machine. All these drivers almost single file all the way around. You can see the long sweeping, the long straightaways here as we're looking at our gopher can. You guys entering this turn, see how they start off with that heavy gray stop to the light side and the inside. They dive it down into the corners and let the car slow itself up, race off those corners. So diving in, looks somebody got a little bit wide there in that turn. See if they continue. Nope, yellow is out. And looking at the 29 machine. '29. He gets it up over the curbing and around he goes. That's tough. Can't get to the curves on here, and that's exactly what will happen. So let's get back to the live racing there. The 29 issued an EOL for that. All right, looks like I got Ray Richer up here in the booth with us. Ray, how you doing?
Harold, how you doing tonight? I actually was trying to load into iRacing here so I could see what was going on my end. I was going to get there, but how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty good, you know, and if you would have given me a little bit of help, I could have given you some Discord information, because what we do in our thing here, we have a feed we push out, so you have instant see of what I'm showing everybody out in the TV world. So, but we can work on that later. But that's what we tend to do for all of my co-hosts, so they see what I'm showing, so they don't have to guess.
Okay, of course, we're doing live broadcasting right now, so it's kind of hard to fill me in. I'm just loading in right now to see what's going on. I'm hoping they're not green at this point in time. But
no, we're back to yellow again. Another the 29 machine popped the curve, and you know that right rear just loves to come around when you do that.
Yeah, if you want, send me a link there right through this, right through here. I'll jump on there and see your broadcast at the same time while we'll get on track and see if we can help you out a little bit with these guys.
Cool, that works for me. Do you have Discord? Because I can send you an invite. All right, so I will get you a invite over there.
But be careful. This is my first time doing this, so you know.
You know what? You can't make a mistake. You just call what you see, and kind of fill in those holes that we have them. So.
Yeah, I know a few of these guys could actually run with them on Monday nights during the North-South Racing League Street Stock Series, just so you know.
Okay, good. Good to know. So I will put it in the broadcasting room. So if you go down there to text, I'll put that there. And you should see that Discord invite. And when I see you jumping over there, I'll pull you into the booth on that side. Just make sure you mute yourself on that side for us, because otherwise we'll have echoes like crazy.
Got you covered on that. Not a problem, man.
All right. We're looking at 19 laps being worked here, as it looks like we're getting ready to go back to the green flag. Riding on board right now with the third place of Gary Eschen. We'll put that off for a second. Pace car off the raceway, then the inside is Gary in the 23 machine. You see outside there is Randy Nichols, and in front of him is a 51 with a jump off. Green flag in the air. We're coming down that front stretch into turn number 1. As you see them go a single file. It's like Tiny Horse at the outside of the 23 machine as we're riding here with Gary. And if you just join the general voice channel, then I can then move you over. Yellow is back out. See if I can find where that happened.
Well, whenever you're ready, I should be in. I'm live on my screen here with iRacing anyways. Should we go?
Okay. If I have you in, I think I see you there, but you need to, if I can have you join one of my voice channels over there, and then I can, there you go. All right, now you should be able to see the feed.
Yes, sir. We're sitting on the dashboard right now. One of the guys in the pits. I'm not sure exactly who this is.
Michael Van. I'm going to try to back it up here because I think that was where our caution came from. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to jump back to Mike's there. 29. It was the EOL for the last one, and let's maybe it again. All right.
Jason Gordon was looking like the guy that actually presented that caution this time. He is one of the South guys. Number 29, given an EOL penalty. He'll be sent to the back. Actually kind of giving a shout-out to the guys that he's going to be done for the night, unfortunately. But we'll see what happens to Mr. Gordon. Right now, it looks like Jared April is up front of this whole pack. Looks like 23 laps of 125 here at Martinsville for the half-mile paperclip tonight in Virginia.
Looking at the guys as they're pacing down, and it looked like we did show the in camera there, the replay, and the 29 kind of upended the 13, and that was his second caution for the night. I guess that's why he's decided that it's just pack it up and get to the next race at Atlanta.
Atlanta should be awful interesting. A little bit higher gear ratios, 1.5 mile track, cookie cutter as they kind of call them. D, whatever you want to call them, either way with a dog leg. A lot of people familiar with them as they call them Hot Atlanta most of the time. It's usually an afternoon race, by the way. It's going to be nice and hot with these tires. These guys are going to have to make them last all the way through it. But night racing changes the whole perspective. Of course, you get out here on this nice glossy track. Of course, there's no sunshine on it, no heat, not a lot of humidity. Actually, with that being said, Harold, let's take a look here for the weather tonight. 68 degrees track temperature, only 65 outside. No, really any winds, only 4 miles an hour there. And humidity right now is very low, actually. So this track should be nice and sticky for these guys. Just got to get the tires warmed up. They got to get at least 5, maybe 7 laps in on these things to get them up to pressure, up to snuff, and they'll start grabbing a little bit better. And you're going to see some tight racing towards the end of this. But again, right now it looks like we still got most everybody on the track. And I appreciate you, by the way, Harold, for allowing you to join you tonight during the broadcast.
No problem. Lottie'sTravelWorld.com providing your weather summary is Ray. You got right up in there, Ray. So we're good to go with that. But as you said, the track temperature, air temperature, is only about 3 degrees difference. So nice and cool here in the Martinsville area as we're getting back to go green flag racing with the 51 and the 11 side by side coming off of turn number 4.
Race cars off, green flags back in the air. Randy Nichols on the outside, but it looks like April got a heck of a jump there down the front stretch. Right behind him, when Nichols falls in, Johnson, right? Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson, that is, in that rainbow-colored number 3 car. Of course, he's a big Earnhardt fan. Been around this North-South Racing League for quite a while, but they're packing it up in the back, about 7th back to maybe the 12th place right now, side-by-side racing. That looks like Will Eastman on the inside of, I'm trying to see that number, that car, the 00 of Jared Morgan, who is in 8th place.
So we go to that grouping there, the 99 and the 00, as you say, side by side as they take that corner. Side-by-side racing can be done here at Martinsville, but both drivers have to be careful. That inside driver is going to want to get back onto the gas. He's going to have to make a delay so that he can get that car pointed in the right direction before he fires off so he doesn't go sliding up the track into the outside car.
It looks right now, by the way, Abel up front, he got caught to the outside. It's almost like a Daytona draft, but again, there is a little bit of drafting going on here, short track racing. Just got stuck to that outside line, left the advantage to the inside of Nichols. Nichols took over the lead about a lap and a half ago. Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson moves up to second. He got to the inside, taking the advantage and kind of freight train that 51 of April to the outside. Single file all the way back, almost to the end of the pack, actually. Very little side by side. Seeing right now, everybody's finding their groove, getting those tires warmed up. And again, with these tires finally warmed up about 5 laps into this run, everybody is trying to fight where they can for position. The only thing I see being traded, Travis Hoffler back in the 11th position, right alongside, looks like Matt Dula has just taken over, actually, the 11th position from the 20s of Travis Hoffler.
And we watched Kevin Barrett coming off one of the corners there, and we saw that car give it a little bit of a shimmy. I think these guys, some of these guys are going to have to watch getting into that, getting out of the corner and getting to the gas a little bit too quickly. You got to go back to the DW's way of saying you got to pretend that there's an egg underneath that gas pedal.
Got a wreck over in turn 1. That's at the report. And caution flag is out. We're going to see who that is. We'll get a replay up here very shortly if you could. It looks like Matt Allen, unfortunately, around with a 44 machine. A little bit of damage to that hood. That will affect his performance here for the rest of the night. Now, it looks like there was a spin in front of him. That was a 07 machine. Everybody just bunched up because nobody had any place to go. Unfortunately, it looks like the 64 got underneath the 44, which that 64 being, trying to keep my screen, Thomas Stewart, who's running in the 27th position.
And leaders came up around them there, so they're probably going to be trapped down a lap underneath the pace car. The way iRacing does get that pace car out there really, really fast sometimes. A lot faster than you want to when you're out on the racetrack.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's kind of programmed that way, and sometimes it does happen. But, again, you want to get out, and if you're ready for your pitch, you got to get in as quick as you can. Red lights are on the pit entrance, by the way. If you take a look over in turn 3, you're going to see a flashing red light. We'll see that on the camera as we come around, and that means pit entrance is closed. That gives us an indication as well as the drivers. Now they come back around. Pace car lights are still on. That obviously indicates more than one to go. And I'm going to believe that that flashing red light is going to turn to green this time. That was going to allow pits to open to the guys that are on the lead lap. Right now, the leader is the 11 of Randy Nichols.
Over to Randy Nichols as we're looking at the end of pit lane here. Looking at one car on pit lane right now. Flagman holding the yellow high in the sky there. 11 and the 3.
You don't mind me, you mind if I mention one of our other sponsors here, Mr. Harold?
Go right ahead.
Kelly's Custom Engraving, who actually makes the plaques for the, well, basically the whole winners of most of the, I think there's 4 races, if I remember right, they had before. Each one
Showdown races.
Showdown races. I always keep forgetting that name. But with that being said, Kelly's Custom Engraving is a locally owned and operated business located in Bellevue, North Carolina, specializing in custom engraved wood, leather, glass, acrylic, and many more materials. Be sure to like and follow their Facebook page to view all of their amazing products and to place your order. That's Kelly's Custom Engravings on Facebook.
All right, our lucky dog is coming around the raceway. Gets slapped back. I believe that looks like the 147 machine of Drew Halloran.
Drew looking to be the only guy. No, there's more. Actually, Matt Allen scored 1 lap down right now. He is back out on the speedway. He's about, well, he showed 4th, but he is 1 lap down with that 44 machine. Again, a lot of damage to the hood. They're going to put him towards the back. Being short track racing, if you are a lap down, they're going to let your lead cars go around with 2 to go. That's what you're seeing here with the 44. That will affect the aero on the car, a little bit of the handling. And one thing that iRacing likes to put into this whole thing is basically the damage model that they have. So in other words, if you hit the right-hand tire to that wall pretty hard or hit a car hard enough, it'll actually rip the A-arm out of it. So you got to be careful with that type of stuff. The body panels will fall off. In fact, I drove one of these ARCA cars once, and it tucked underneath the right front tire and just dragged the car. I couldn't turn it or anything. So yeah, it's one of those things you got to watch out for. And iRacing is incorporated all into the simulator that you're watching tonight.
Yeah, the great thing in iRacing loves the ARCA cars. The ARCA cars test everything. The new tire model, the new damage model. They love this car. Yeah, so it gets all the really cool stuff before everybody else does. Race Control has issued a EOL to the 04 and 07 for the contact that brought out the last caution.
Showing right in front of Matt Allen there. Of course, Matt Allen is 1 lap down. He is on the lucky dog position. He's got to outrun the 64 Thomas Stewart. Pace car is off. Here we go on a turn 4. Green flag back in the air. Looks like right now Randy Nichols up front again, leading this pack side by side for second though.
Somebody got a wreck there. Looks like the 73 was in that. We'll try to get on the 73 and lots of cars around again.
73, by the way, Robbie Clavey. Turn 2 actually is where the accident happened, but he was off the speedway, so the yellow did not come out. We continued green.
Well, wow, there's a lot of cars that were involved for no caution to come out.
Yeah,
well, all right, so we'll get back to it. But I thought I saw the pace car was rolling around there. So, all right, well, we'll get back to the front then.
Back to the front we go. Randy Nichols there with a 2-car lead just over to the number 3 of Ryan Johnson there. Behind him, April was our leader early, but unfortunately got freight trained by the top 2 cars. In third right now, Gary Ashland at 23, the Jordan machine right behind those guys, holding on as you ride along here down the front chute with Gary.
I love this shot here. It shows you the difference in this flat track where we have the older pavement in the darker color and then that newer concrete that they've laid down up along the curbing here. And you know, basically that nice diamonding you hear about, you know, with the drivers for a place like Martinsville. Hitting on the brakes a little bit, but not too much, because you don't want to kill the momentum, because you're going to be wanting to get as much speed off of that car as you can. And it's definitely harder to get the car to get going again once it's slowed down to like third gear speeds.
By the way, the 38, the last lap, went down the back chute. He touched the inner wall. Almost got rear-ended by the 09 of Kevin Barrett Jr. there, right behind him. That's 5th and 6th position. Grosser, though, was able to hold on, keep it straight. He actually has got a groove going now where he's keeping it off the wall, still in 5th place position. about 3 car lengths behind him for 6. Again, that Kevin Barrett Jr. in the 09 machine. They're coming up on what could be possibly the next lap car. That's the 73 of Robbie Clavey. He was the one involved in that wreck that the caution didn't come out of here about 5 laps ago. He is outrunning the leader so far. He is in 25th position. And if that's the case, say they pass him, that's going to put Matt Allen out of the chance for the lucky dog. So again, caution's got to happen before Matt can get back on the lead lap. But Robbie Clavey may go down. But your top 5 right now, Randy Nichols in the 11 machine, Ryan Johnson 3rd, Jared April 3rd in the 51, Gary Eschlin in the Jordan machine 23rd, and Justin Grosser rounds out your top 5.
That was our top 5 presented by the Kelly's Customs Engraving and the North-South Racing League. As we continue to work our laps here, as we're working lap 45 of 125. So we had a couple early cautions. We're starting to get some green flag racing in here.
I hope you don't mind. This is my first time doing this, so just be gentle with me here, Mr. Harold. I really do appreciate the open mic night here at the North-South Racing League of Martinsville for me.
It's definitely good when we hear, especially hearing for drivers in the league. You guys have a good insight, and you know, one thing my wife picks on me all the time about practicing names before I start going into a race.
I gotta explain that one. I'll tell you a really quick story. I helped out one of the guys one night, not in this league, but another one, and it was all an import league. In other words, it was everybody from like New England, not New England, Jeepers. Where am I going with this? Paris, over in London, and all that stuff. Well,
European league, right?
European, that's it. I couldn't pronounce half the names, so it came down to number 5 in the 3rd position, and I just could not figure it out. By the way, it looks like that 73 has become a victim of the next lap down. He's at the outside, letting the top 5 by. The 6th place car right now is going to get there. Matt Allen has a long way to go before he catches up to the 73 right now of Robbie Clavey for that lucky dog. But if caution was to come out, Clavey is the one that's going to have it.
And so we have currently on the lead lap 23 cars. The next car possibly going down a lap will be the number 02 of Dan Janjanin. So we'll be looking 50 laps being worked here, so a pretty big number there. The Heart Crate 11 machine, and he's got, as you saw in the chat, a whole lot of people looking for him in that Heart Crate to pull away the victory tonight.
Well, we're going to keep an eye on him, see what he can do with that machine. Again, Nat Nichols still up front, though, and he has gotten a little bit bigger lead over the number 3 of Johnson. Johnson in 2nd, but he's also holding his own away from the 3rd place of Jared Apel. Top 3 now, kind of pulling away. I keep saying a little bit bigger gap. Oh, off to turn 4. Johnson gets a little loose with that number 3 machine, allows Apel to catch up to the rear bumper. He's going to have a shot at him down here in turns 1 and 2. Down the back stretch they go, though, and Johnson looks like he's kind of carried it back up, keeping the car straight. That gives Nickel the advantage to get a little bit farther away.
Yeah, as you're seeing here, the intervals are on the board there. So almost a second to race leader over Ryan Johnson at number 3 machine. And then Jared Apel and Gary Eschen, as you're starting to see the guys get single file and spreading out some. And kind of expect that here in Martinsville, because it's all about momentum and taking care of the tires underneath you. And speaking of tires, there's only 2 sets sitting in pit road, so they have to be careful of when they come down and get them.
That's one thing. I mean, they've been taking and holding on to these all night long with these tires, but it looks like running that low line is going to wear them out. PDQ, man. Again, Randy Nichols still way out in front, though. And it looks like Justin Grosser, I'm going to keep an eye on that 38 machine. He's all alone in his own zip code there in 5th place position. That gives him a chance to run his own line. We're going to see if he can save these tires and maybe even get more of a grip in the long run. What I'm getting at is let everybody else burn their stuff up and see if he can be consistent. But right now, nope, with him coming off of turn 2, the rear end sticks out on him just a little bit, and that gives Jared Morgan behind him, in the 00 machine, catching up to him here in 6th place.
We're going to go to our cam so we can see the entire raceway. See, they're all spread out. So it's like you can't tell. There's our race leader on the back stretch where that Xfinity is. And you can start seeing him coming up. Another caution. I was going to say they're about catching up to the back of the pack. And caution is back out on the raceway. And I'm seeing the 33 slowed up there. See if I could find something that he might have been around.
33 of Marshall Johnson running 23rd, 1 lap down at this point. I do see we did lose a driver here, by the way, a little bit ago. That'd be the 07 of Greg Kowalski. He was in 28th, unfortunately. His connection has had an issue, and he has fell through. We're going to see if he's going to be able to come back. But through all this, Randy Nichols leads this thing. Right now, on lap 57 out of 125, and everybody and their brothers coming down pit road.
And the 24 and the 33 make contact, bringing out the last caution. So we'll let race control sort that out. We'll go to live traffic, as you said, onto pit lane.
See, Justin Grosser hits his pit first, but because Nichols was up front at the beginning, he's going to have a pit all the way around into the end. I don't see who's in front. That's a 60 machine of Brian Holman. Holman's still out on the speedway. He may have pitted early. I didn't catch that. He's showing 4th place right now, but Nichols in 2nd place. Right-hand side tires go on the car. Only he turns around, gets fuel, gets back out on the speedway. That might be a mistake. We'll keep an eye out for the 11 machine, who's been leading most of the night.
Holman has not come down pit lane at all. He's on 58 lap tires, so that's no pitting. And Travis Hoffler in the 2nd spot in 20th in the 20 car has 25 laps, so he came down halfway. And everybody else has gone down all the way to 23rd, just got fresh rubbers.
I'm kind of curious there, Harold. I'm wondering what type of fuel mileage these guys are getting. Can you make it to the end on one run? Again, it's only 125 laps of short track racing. It's 0.5 mile, half a mile track. I know they usually run, I think, about 75% fuel. So with that being said, I'm wondering if they can make it to the end. So maybe they got a strategy up front with these tires, even though they're wore out.
I believe the street stocks run less fuel, but I'm gonna look at my stuff, my notes again, but I'm not seeing anything in the ARCA series about fuel restriction.
Well, nobody's ever said I was perfect by any means or remember half the stuff,
full-
so I'm with you
full-
on your notes.
Full fuel and 2 sets of tires in the pits, so I guess they limit it by the tires but not the fuel. So there's a good possibility that they have enough fuel to get to the end here.
Well, that would explain, by the way, why the 11 of Nichols was out so quick, because he just got right side tires, and I don't think he got any fuel. Well, with that being said, that now lightens up the car, so that gives an opportunity to take and go a little bit faster, because fuel weighs anywhere from 7 to 8 pounds a gallon. iRacing has definitely put that into the server. And what that comes down to is you obviously lose weight in the longer run. You can go a little bit faster because the car is going to be lighter. Also, if you add fuel to these cars, the rear end of them actually gain weight. So now you're throwing the rear end around with worn tires. It'll actually spin the car out if you're not careful on the throttle. Pace car lights are out. We go green this time. Hollerman, by the way, your leader. Waved off the caution. We're going to go one more time around. Pace car lights are back on. A couple guys still trying to catch up in the back. Holman, by the way, your leader again. Travis Hoffler on the outside. So we're going to have the Holman-Hoffler show on the front row. We're going to see what these guys can do on the used tires. I think they're going to be able to make it a full run without a problem, Harold. But like I said, the tires up front, you're going to have to hold on for dear life for quite a while.
Yeah, those guys are definitely going to feel the pressure from the guys who have the fresh Goodyear Eagles on the back behind them. That is for sure.
Pace car lights are off. We're going to go right around turn 2. Going to let them loose this time by. Hoffler's got to wait for Holman to fire. And now listen, Holman can take and fire anytime the pace car pulls off, and all 4 tires of the pace car down on pit lane. So in other words, 3, 2, 1 right now. Anywhere from this point on, he can hit the throttle. So we're going to see what happens. Holman around the turn 3. Everybody still knows the tail. A few guys in the back catching up. He'll throttle it off of turn 4. Green flag back in the air.
And they're back off running with Brian Holman, your race leader, as you see that 11 car, that Hart crate, looking to see what he can do about getting down to the inside of the enter into turn number 3.
Hoffler goes wide out of turn 2, leaves the bottom wide open for Apel. Of course, looks like Nichols with those 2 outside tires has a chance to get down to our leader. He comes down the front stretch, right on the rear end bumper of Holman. Holman down to turn 1, he's able to hold on. Little bit less speed down through there, trying to hold on with those 4 tires, but the top 2 are getting a gap between 3rd on back, where there's a gaggle of cars looking for position for 5th. Nichols right now holding on to 2nd place, just hunting down the rear end of that Ducks Ease, number 60 of Holman. Holman doing a great job holding on to the lead. Like you were saying earlier, Harold, he has not pitted yet And again, we're what? Almost 60, actually 65 laps into this 125 event. We are over the halfway mark right now. To the inside, it looks like Nichols is going to try it. He pushes the back end, and it looks like there was a little bit of net code involved in that wreck.
We can definitely pull that back. Looks like with a 51 had the best view of the house, so we'll try to see it from his viewpoint as we roll it back here.
I'm going to say right now, we'll get a view on board here. You said from the 51 machine of Jared Apel. I do believe, Harold, that there was a little net code involved in that. What you guys don't know about net code, anybody out there doesn't know, every one of these cars, iRacing has to read the position on track that they're at. And what I'm getting at with that is if one connection is a little bit off, if they've got a foot or two or even maybe 6 inches in between a car, it'll register to iRacing like they touched. And obviously, I think that is what happened here. So we'll see if we can get the best view of it. On board with Apel now, going down what looks to be the back. No, it is the front stretch. You got to watch at 11, who's in second place ahead of him. That's when you got to watch when he goes to the inside is when this happens. So down the back stretch we'll go. Going down to turn 3, it might out of turn 4. Hopefully this is the lap right here. He'll do it down in turn 1. That's where this all happened. There's the runoff of 4. 11 to the inside. Now watch and see if there's a gap between these two cars. Bad angle to see it, but it looks like he touched him from that angle, from 51 off the dashboard.
And the 11 was given the EOL from race. So that, and just to give a little bit more insight, I mean, you did a pretty good job there with the whole net code issue. I've been given a little bit more information. They said that it's also the iRacing server will actually anticipate where the cars are going, and when they lose connectivity, it will continue the movement even though the cars separate. They make contact, and that seems to be the biggest problem. And iRacing is actually trying to re-engineer itself, and we're supposed to be getting a major update in the next year that will probably eliminate the netcode. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be awesome. That would be very awesome. I mean, the way they work most of the time, I agree with you. 110% agree, and you are right about that. Most of the time around these little cars, there's a box that the computer sees, and they are the actual panels of the cars. And like you were saying, the anticipation of what it's programmed to do, the algorithms pick that up and obviously go through the motions, and that is what netcode is all about. By the way, Apel out front with the 51 machine. Grosser in second. He'll start on the outside or the front, inside, depending on what Apel decides to choose, because that is up to the leader if he wants to choose outside or inside. But pace car lights are still on. At least 2 more to go on this end. Harold, been a pretty good race so far. We're almost 3/4 of the way through it, and a little bit of door banging, a little bit of swapping positions. And I'll tell you what, just before that, there had to be about 6 cars in a group in 5th place just shooting for that top 5.
Yeah, there's always going to be that. And look at here, the biggest movers. Chuck Sweating, 22 positions. He was out of the LCQ to get into this race tonight. So is Dan Janjanin, who's up 17 spots. And Shane Loveridge up 13 spots. And that's your biggest movers. Ken Dula was pointing out that Matt Dula moved up 5 spots on the pit lane. And he's up in the top 5 now.
By the way, the 60 went and pitted, by the way, and got tires. Holman, by the way, did. That put 11 to the back, 60 back in, looked to be 21st position.
21st position is Brian Holman, as you see him right there. And I believe that this is in Virginia. This is a north track today. Oh, the 17 around on the start and the 51. Wow. Oh, big contact right there. Ouch.
Got the big one at Mini Martinsville tonight. A whole bunch of guys involved in that. And what looked to happen, obviously, our leader, Jared Apel, just fired off of turn 4, didn't get the tires too warmed up, and the rear end came around, and everybody behind checked up. I didn't see the second spinner, though. I did see it happen. We're going to keep a replay here, obviously, on the 51. And, boy, that just, 51's got a right front tire locked up on that car on my screen. We're going to see what happens on here.
Lots of damage on that 51 machine, and we'll go up to our chopper camera here and watch. But watch the 17 as well on the restart, because he gets sideways as well.
17 there in the 6th place position. That's, actually, we're
Matt
live
Dula
on there. Matt Dula. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I think he checked up, or did he hit the throttle? We're going to keep an eye out here. Here's the replay. Pace car pulling off. Again, able to fire anytime he wants out of turn 3. He'll fire right here, come around turn 4, and just a little bit too much throttle. 17 looks like he did the same thing. 17, did he get hit at all? I mean, it didn't look it, but I just kind of caught that at the last second. Maybe I could be incorrect in that.
Well, we'll run it again here. The 17, we're on the top of him, so we'll watch him the whole time this time.
We're okay, by the way, on at least 2 to go, so nobody's pace car lights are still on. Live position over here. Watch the 17 for a moment. We're down the backstretch again. This is a little bit of a replay for one more lap. They turn around down the backstretch. He starts in the 6th position on the outside 3rd row. That's that black car you want to keep an eye on. He'll come around out of turn 3. Of course, he'll fire right here just going into 4. And the 17 looks like he's all alone, and he did the same exact thing. And unfortunately, both of those cars, everybody checking up. Phil Martin, by the way, was involved in that. And a few other guys behind him. So it looks like about a dozen cars, roughly, handful of these guys, unfortunately, just involved in this last caution flag. I believe it's number 6, if I'm not mistaken.
We can look at that here. We'll get it back to live. Matt Dula really didn't get a lot. I mean, Phil got up underneath him, kind of crinkled that back deck a little bit, but not the heavy damage that the number 51 had, that's for sure. And let's go ahead and, like you had said, let's check our race summary. J&G Hardwood Flooring there. Justin Grosser now being scored as the race leader. And the fastest car tonight was Jared Apel. I think you said been saying it that way.
Yep.
Okay. And Jared Apel looks like he's probably going to be done for the night with that amount of damage on that car that he has. And he's in the pits right now, over a minute in the pit lane. So I think he might be enough for the 51. We had 30 racers start this race, and we've had 7 cautions working 31 laps. So that's your Havoc at the Hot Dog Stand 125 J&G Hardwood Flooring race summary.
Pace car lights are out. Justin Grosser, your new leader after everything's been going on. A 38 machine. Ryan Johnson being showed in second, but not sure why he's sitting behind him. But I guess to each his own. The 99 of Will Eastman to the outside. He's supposed to swap around, but yep, caution flag has been thrown again. Pace car's pulling down pit lane. He's going to have to pull out here in turn 1. I do believe there was a little bit of a shuffle up front because Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson should be on the outside of that front row.
Okay. Just not quite right, which that's Mike Xavier, who's our race controller, has to make. There you go. See, the pace car went through the wall. Now that's one heck of a Who is that guy? I want that race car.
Let me tell you, I know that, oh my goodness, why can't I remember his name right now? Brett Bodine's awful talented going through that wall with that car.
I mean, yeah. I did some producing with the Roushey Performance guys, and well, we're about to go green here, so we'll call that one when we do get the next break. So we got Justin Grosser starting it inside there with the 99 on the outside and the 3 in the 3rd spot. Off the fires 38.
38 off the corner. Justin Grosser, he'll take it out about 2 car lengths, maybe down to 1. The 99 of Eastman right behind him, hot on his tail though. The inside right now also controlled by the number 3 machine of Tiny Horse Johnson. 75 of Chuck Sweeting that we haven't really talked about only a little bit in the beginning. He is back up in the 4th place position, but he's on the outside. It looks like Jared Morgan is stuck below him. That'll bring him back to the 5th place position, and Morgan for 4th.
And starting a single file. Looks like the first car double file is Dula and the 8 of Jeff Mathis. Everybody else single file as we start putting some laps in. Working lap 79 of 125 here.
And Dante Curtis, by the way, in the chat. By the way, this was a kind of off-the-cuff deal, by the way, Dante. Don't get used to this. This is my first time. You know this, right? So with that all being said, Justin Grosser sitting out front. Looks about 5 car length positions off of Will Eastman. Eastman getting chased down, though, by Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson. Everybody is nose to tail from 2nd all the way back to 10th. And it's a breakaway with a single car field straight away down the front stretch.
And they're asking in chat, why is Dante not in the race car tonight? Good question. Maybe he wants to answer.
Even Kathy Joe Hagedorn is asking in the chat, why are you not in your simulator rig right now? Dante, I'm a little disappointed in you, buddy. Grosser continues to lead right now up first. but he is going to have some company quite shortly. He was about, well, no, I'm going to correct myself there. He was 3 difference. Now it looks to be 5 or 6 car lengths back to second place. Thought it was going to get closer, but apparently not. Right now, lap 82 of 125. We got just over 40 laps to go here at Martinsville. Big old challenge, though, off of the second and third place. Johnson to the rear bumper of that 99. Just watch out and see if that front bumper is getting a little bit chromier as we go on. Coming around turn 3, it looks like that number 3 is trying to chase down the 99 for second. Still plenty of time left in this race.
And we're on the nose cam of Jared Mulgard in the 4th spot. As you can see these 3 cars, how close they are as they're starting to reel in the race leader there. My scoring saying he's 8 tenths away, but it looks like he's a lot closer than that because he's really slowing the corners down to help keep that tires on it, because he gets a whole lot of run off in every one of the straightaways here.
Dante telling me he had to work at Atomic Speedway tonight for Flow Sports. Listen, what's your priorities here, man? We need you in here, you know? Hell, you know what? If I could be out there watching regular races right now, don't get me wrong, I have a good time watching these guys. But nope, the real racing's coming back pretty quick, and I may make a few laps myself this season. But with that all being said, Dustin Grosser is still leading again, but he has gained a lot more on his lead. Almost 10 car lengths back to the 99 of Grosser. Everybody now getting their tires worn in. Got to keep an eye, though, by the way, of Gary Ashland. He's in 6th place position in that 23 Jordan machine. He's been up all night long in the top 10, kind of just biding his time. Usually he's a pretty good closer at the end. We're going to watch that. I don't know how I would know that being my first time. But either way, he's going down to turn 1. And he's up to the rear end of that 75 of Chuck Sweeting. Chuck Holding is one of the new guys here in the ARCA leagues here on Thursday nights.
Michael Van came off the racing groove into pit lane and basically put it to the garage. But that was kind of interesting, that 13 machine.
Barrett Abel, by the way, is disconnected. He has left the room, unfortunately. Caution out for the 8th time tonight, just as they were heating up towards the front. We're going to see exactly what happened on the track. Looking around, by the way, I see some damage on the 33 machine. It may have been prior contact, but keep a look on that replay and see if we can find out exactly what's going on there. I see the right rear of it's jacked up pretty hard. Looking around to anybody else that might be stopped. That's about the only evidence I got of this one, Harold. We're going to have to see if we can find the replay on it.
And we're looking high above the 33. The 147 is there. He's had some damage as well there.
Up in that groove, leaving the 147 plenty of room there. No, that's right ahead of us.
Was that the 04 machine, I think, of Chad Applegate. We'll back that up a little bit and see what Chad Applegate, if he's a self-spin or he had some help.
I'm going to say probably a self-spin, but I could be wrong. I've never been perfect at this stuff before. Off a turn 4 he goes, 04. Yeah, just lost it out of the groove or end turned around. When he stopped on a racing surface, at least slowed down below a certain miles an hour. That's what iRacing calls for the caution flag.
04 EOL. So go back to the live racing. It was the, who was that? They just got the lap back.
Let's see here.
09 of Kevin Barrett.
Yep, that'd be my guess. Kevin Barrett. Brian Holman, by the way, who was racing earlier against the 11 when they wrecked, when I thought the net code came out, he is in the 60 machine. He made his way up to 10th place, by the way. He started back on that one restart. I think it was 25th, doing a fantastic job with that damaged machine. Look at the left front of that car. A little bit of damage on it, but otherwise holding his own. Actually, am I looking at the wrong one? I'm looking at the wrong one on my screen, not your screen. So no damage on the 60 that I can see. Other than he did get spun earlier by the 11. And he's actually got one of the cars that's got the fresher tires on. So we'll keep an eye on him for the night in 10th position.
Looks like he might have had a little bit of right contact there. A little bit of damage on that right rear, but nothing major on that number 60 machine.
No, nothing that should slow him down here at the third track. Pace car lights are still on for at least another 2 rounds around this facility. With that being said, I'd like to point out one of our sponsors here, primary every week, been here for a long time, J&G Hardwood Flooring. J&G Hardwood Flooring is a small family-owned business which started in 2005, located in Christiana, Tennessee, and serves all of Middle Tennessee. Owners Josh and Brandon Klaczynski have a combined 35 years of experience to serve all of your flooring needs. From new construction, remodels, or even small repairs, Or for your estimates, give us scheduling, or for estimates and scheduling, I'll get that right. Call 615-904-2218. Again, 615-904-2218 for J&G Hardwood Flooring. Pace car lights are out. One more time around to go. We're going to let them loose again, and this will be, I got to look down around here, lap 93. We're almost to the 100 mark. We're going to do that in the next couple laps.
All North drivers up here squaring up that North. So they're going to try to make sure nobody gets that extra cash tonight.
Buck Sweeting, by the way, is confirming for the 6th place. He is the first South driver to have an opportunity for the $25 extra if he wins tonight. And here we go. We can fire anytime off of turn 3. Grosser back on that loud pedal. Green flag back in the air. Nice jump. Gets to the high side for his turn. The 99 and 00 of Mogart and Eastman side by side for third. It looks like Eastman's going to have it just for a minute, but momentum confuses him off of turn 2. They'll even back up down to turn 3. Again, door to door. We got one car way high out of the groove, able to miss that fence and kind of keep it straight. Looks like it may have been the 01 machine of Josh Nelms. 9th place right now, going back to 10th. Grosser still leading this thing, and 3rd place still got a side-by-side challenge.
You see in that battle there for between the 00 and the 99. As we're working lap 96, so 30 laps left in this.
Counting them down, now it's just a Saturday night short track event with some bigger cars. And right now, Matt Allen, I see he's just in front of these guys as caution just saved him from going one more lap down. Matt being shown one lap, but he is not the lucky dog. 9th caution of the evening. We're going to see if we can find it on the replay.
Unfortunately, it looks like that 33 car was involved again. Not sure if it started with him, but he was involved.
Marcel Johnson is who the 33 is. Joe Witkowski, by the way, in the 24 was saying something about the 24 car himself.
24 car.
Yep, I see that on the replay with him and the 01 machine. And unfortunately, Chad Applegate in the 04, he was given the EOL penalty. That was the last one. Joe Witkowski given an EOL penalty on this one. So it was the 24's fault. Witkowski, by the way, one lap down, running 21st at a time. He'll be sent to the tail end of the field.
And I believe it's 14 incident points will send you home, and it looks like that might have happened to our driver in that 33 machine. So there's a 24 in the back of the 01, and then the 33 gets in there and DQ.
Yep, and Marcel Johnson obviously disconnected. 4 incident points. Like you were just saying, 14 incident points will get you ejected, whether it be your fault, somebody else's. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. And just kind of describe the incident points again, if you're not very aware of them, if you hit somebody on the racetrack, depending on how hard you hit them, what angle, etc., or if you hit a wall, lose control, iRacing gives you an inclement point, which is an X point, as we kind of discussed here. Well, what happens is you can get 2 or 4 at a time, or even 1 for that matter, depending on how hard the incident happens. And when they add up to 14X, they boot you out of the server. And that's exactly what you saw with Marcel Johnson in the 33. Unfortunately, just a victim of circumstance from that last caution. And when that happened, he was going home. So he's right now up in the stands watching this from his server there in front of his screen.
24 is given the EOL. And just to kind of go on that thing is I come from a no-fault insurance state, and that's pretty much how the incident points work. If you were involved in the accident, you get assessed points.
That's a perfect analogy of that.
It's a no-fault. But how it's kind of been described to me from the iRacing guys that I've worked around with, 1 point for leaving the surface of the raceway, 2 points for making contact with another car, and 4 points will be issued if it causes the other car to lose control of their vehicle.
That makes sense.
And that could actually happen, like if you make contact on the front straightaway and the other car can't get the car straightened again, almost a whole lap later, you'll still get the 4X because the algorithm continues it for almost 30 seconds, if I remember right.
Then you hear, sorry, man.
No, my favorite one is, I just bought the track today.
Yes, that's like the play. Grocer on the point. Tiny Horse Johnson on the outside instead of behind him this time on the restart. That's going to be the 99 of Will Eastman as Jared Mogard on the outside. Mogard is in the north. Chuck Sweeting is in the south. And he restarts fifth. It looks like Grocer with a killer jump there to the front. And we're back under green flag racing. Lap 102. Just a little over 20 to go right now to the end of this thing.
Working our wall cameras here. Everybody seems to love these shots, but as we got the 2x2x2. Oh, car around in turn 4. That's Dan Janjanin in the Chrome 02 machine. We're going to have to pull back and see what happened in this one.
Gonna believe it's probably hot rear tires again, but I mean, maybe he got some help, but it looked like he went around pretty quick and pretty easily coming out of turn 4. He was on the outside, I believe, too. We get the replay up here on the Havoc at the hot dog stand. 125. Dan Janjanin going around turn 2 down the backstretch. A little bump there from behind. Don't see the number of that. A little bit of help there, and that's exactly what happened.
That was the 61 machine of JD Rich. So we'll see what they tell us, but that looks like the JD Rich might have helped the 02 of Jan Janin with that little hop up. And these cars, not as bad as the street stocks with that shovel up front, but they are where the nose is below that rear fender. So they get up underneath their car. He's going to lift those 2 rear tires off of the racing surface, and usually around you'll go. So we're looking at what 61 EOL. So that is what Mike decides. Doing a great job in the race control trailer. We've talked about this before. I've talked of race admins who come and ask me, what is the most important thing do I need as a race admin to have a successful league? And everybody says, you gotta have a good commentator, you gotta have a good broadcaster. I said, no, you need a good race administrator, because race control can make or break your league.
Yes, sir. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back here if you don't mind.
No problem. 38 of Justin Grosser is running in the front here with the number 3 car of Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson. As Ryan, who did win the first event at North Wilkesboro in the street stocks, is trying to punch his ticket here. He says he's had some issues getting some oval wins. But we'll see what he's able to do here. Justin Grosser running that front there in that 38 machine, doing a great job holding the front here. He's got 49 laps on those tires. Brian Holman in the 60 machine, 38 laps. And 17 laps is Robbie Clavey. So Robbie working the advantage there with his car. 17 laps on his tires. So wondering if Robbie's got a few incident points, but not sure. Don't think he's got any real heavy damage. Let's look at him there. I'm not seeing a lot of damage there. But Robbie's looking pretty good in that 73 crate NSRL machine. '72 leaving the race for the broken wheel. Shane Loveridge. I'm assuming that's a racing steering wheel that he's having an issue with. 38 in the 3, lining up 2x2 as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. '38. Bringing us back to the green flag, the 99 and the 3. Little bit of and around goes another car. Not sure who that was. It was Matt Dula. See if he had any help there this time. As we get back here to look at the replay. The 17 in the 6th spot as we wait for the pace car to come off the raceway. The 38 get a nice good jump here. Off he goes, the 3, the 99, a slight contact there, and the 17 just on the gas a little bit too soon. Into the 11, Randy Nichols. 17 around there, so EOL issued to him. We're going to go back to the live set. Justin Grosser still your race leader. All right, so Justin Grosser and Will Eastman be your front two. Johnson now will be on the inside, and I'm not sure he might actually want to be in that position on that inside line. He seemed to have a good jump off of there the last time he was down on the inside. May prefer that lower groove.
And I'm back.
Kenneth Dula said he rode the concrete crease. And then that's very difficult with a racetrack like Martinsville with the different surfaces. Sometimes you can use that to your advantage. Other times it could bite you. And it looked like that time that might have been what happened there with Dula. He might have got a little bit higher than he thought he was and got into the darker asphalt part of the track, which caused the car to get upset and turn around there.
Yeah, what happens at a lot of these times, give you a prime example. I used to race 4-cylinder pickups, and I had a buddy of mine that did the same. Well, he had a brother with a late model. He ran the same track with the late model one day in a race, as well as the 4-cylinder pickup. And I asked him, I said, what do you feel in the difference? He goes, to be honest with you, the handling obviously is different. The actual racing is close to the same, but it's much faster in a late model. And the other problem is this: if you're in turn 2 and a wreck happens in turn 4, with a truck, you got plenty of time to slow down because it's only 4 cylinders. These things, you come upon them like that. Things happen so much faster when obviously you're going faster with more horsepower. And, well, that's exactly what you get here on a short track with these high horsepower cars. It looks like pace car lights are out, and Grosser is going to take the outside of the front row. That is by choice. Eastman right now to the inside. Eastman cannot pass his front bumper with the 99 machine until they hit the start-finish line. It's going to be a good green flag restart.
Yeah, 38, and that said, it looked like the 3 preferred that inside line, so he may be happy that he's been put back to 3rd so that he can be on that inside line. We'll see how Tiny Horse gets this restart here as the 38 fires us back off. Ready back over at green flag racing here.
Wreck behind him, unfortunately, for the 10th time tonight. It looked like we had a car spin a little bit too much throttle. Going to take a bit back into the pack. Chad Applegate, unfortunately, with a 0-4 machine. Going to take him back it up just a little bit. Here's the restart. Going to keep an eye on that 0-4 around that area. On the outside of the 23 of Gary Eshland, I did see he was the one that slowed down and spun. This is off of turn 2 down the backstretch. We got to take and let it catch back up the other half of the lap. And everything under caution here on the live screen. Everybody getting ready to go here. Look at that 0-4 to Snickers hood car again on the outside of 23. Everybody hits the loud pedal. 0-4 falls back. And, oh, what happened? It happened ahead of them. That looks like the 17 machine possibly again with the throttle a little bit too hard coming off of turn 4 in the restart. Matt Dulis, who's in that 17 machine. My apologies on the difficult call. I'm actually looking at his car right now, right rear, and the front nose is punched right in on that machine. Going to cause a little bit of aero deficiency on that car, but again, he's able to take and get it around here. Looks like Dula, I did not see an EOL given just yet, but going to keep an eye on that 17 and see if he goes to the back. Another replay of it right here. Going to keep an eye on that 17 of Matt Dula as in 6th place position, lap 117. It's the throttle after everybody takes off, and right there is exactly why we have the 10th caution tonight. He'll get into the side of what looks to be the 11 of Nichols. And unfortunately, Nichols had nowhere to go, and he just kind of kept on him while he was trying to keep the car straight. It didn't work out very well with the 11 or the 17 for that matter.
The 04, Chad Applegate, was issued a disqualification from race control. Third incident is what was given.
Yeah, usually in the real world, 3 spins, three wrecks. It does happen that way.
So we're at 118 of 125. They have one shot at a green-white checker, if I remember correctly.
With that being said, they may not have to use it if they can go green the next couple laps, and it looks like it's going to happen here. A couple guys getting ready to go, but pace car lights are still on. Everybody in the back's caught up, so if they go off this time, they go green next time. Let's see, that'll be lap 119 or restart 120. We'll have 6 laps to shoot this thing out if the pace car lights go out this time by. Coming off of turn 4, going to keep an eye on the pace car on my screen, and that holds to be true. Pace car lights are off. Everybody going to double them up again. Grosser checking to the outside. That's where he was last time. All he's got to do is get that arc down to turn 1. As long as he can get away from everybody and take the low side, and he's got it made. So Grosser with the great shot. Going to be a 6-lap shootout here at Martinsville on this restart.
We're on Jared Mogard's Zubble Zero machine. We'll have a nice, good view of this as they fire off to start this race again. 38 holding back a little bit more than he normally does. He usually fires off earlier, and now we're back to green flag racing. The 60, as you were talking about him with those better tires, back to third.
Eastman to the inside of the 60 home, and by the way, like I said, he had an incident earlier and was able to make his way up through the field. 10th was the last time I talked about him, which was about 25 laps ago, and look where he's at now. He's in 3rd place to the outside of the 99. Eastman looking to the inside is where the preferable line wants to be. Just a pack of 5 right now, 99, 60. Looks like the double zero in the middle of all that. The number 3 of Tiny Horse Johnson and Truck Sweeting. By the way, Holman is one of our South guys in 3rd. If he can get around and pick up the win, he's got $25 bonus in his pocket with that 60 machine tonight. But he's being held up by the 99 at Eastman because they are drag racing around this entire facility.
4 laps to go with a 0-0 now getting into the fray. So we got for the battle for second heating up to 5 cars now as the 75 joins.
Grosser is getting away. 10 car lengths to go. 2 laps ready to go on the field. Actually, lap 123. That's going to be 3 laps to go. Sorry, my bad. He's going to have another time around before we hit 2 laps, and he is just walking away. He's got the preferred line and the lead. Off of turn 4, Grosser's got it. Caution out again on the speedway. Out of turn 4, we got a car low.
There's the 20 machine down low. We're going to get a caution as the sticks, 2 to go, were being shown. So we're going to have to go to a green-white flag. So it'll stay up on my screen here. It'll stay at 3 laps to go because of the green-white checker. Try to see what got the 20 around in turn 4.
Right, the popsicle sticks were in the air. That means 2 to go. Actually not cross flags, straight up and down. Cross flags means halfway. That's one thing I haven't seen from Barry, our flagman, who's about to wave his poor arm off on the caution flag over there on the front stretch. And that's normal here at iRacing.
Oh, the 0-2 and the 73 started that. And then the pile up in the corner here. And I guess it cleared up before our race leaders got around here.
I will say I'd seen 2 cars pop out of frame, and those were the guys that went to the 14X limit. I believe one of them was a 64, Thomas Stewart. He does show off of the facility right now, disqualified.
It was JD Rich, Dan Janin, Thomas Stewart, Randy Nichols, Philip Barton, all DQ'd for overs on that. Whole lot of cars.
We have an announcement over here. Pace car got more laps than some of these drivers did tonight from Daniel Gandara in our chat.
Wow.
Danielle Gandara, sorry, let me get that correct.
Daniel
Daniel or Danielle? Am I wrong or right on that?
It's Daniel.
Daniel, my brother. I thought it's
Yeah.
Danielle. Maybe I'm wrong about that. So maybe it is Danielle. My apologies.
It'd be 2 L's and an E if it was Danielle.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah, you got me there.
The 0, 2, and 20 you get the EOL. So yeah, he says male. I'm a Daniel. And
Remember
Danny, leave Danny alone.
Remember what we remember what we said about the names that we could never get right. Now I'm screwing up somebody's first name. By the way, my address is is J&G Hardwood Flooring. No.
Yeah.
Grosser, big time out front, and he has got the advantage. It's going to be a 2-lap shootout with the one attempt at a green-white checkered under this last restart. 11 caution flags tonight here at Martinsville. Everybody's been consistent up to maybe 2 laps in. Most of the time, people just spinning off the rear tires, trying to hold on to it. And the only chance at $25 extra in somebody's pocket is in the 3rd place position. That's the 60 of Brian Holman. And he's got a shot. He really does. He's just got to take and get a chance off the start. But here's the problem. Grosser, if he starts on the outside, it blocks a 99 from taking off immediately. Now, if he gets a good jump, great. I mean, it'll give Eastman a shot. But that also blocks Holman. Holman's stuck in that position, which I see pace car lights are off, and it looks like Grosser's going to take the top side again. So, say, for example, Grosser was on the bottom. That would give the 60 a shot to take off with him and possibly get the lead. So Grosser is smart heading to the top of this facility. And we got to go green this time around. 1 attempt at a green-white checkered for the finish.
So what that means, for those that are just watching us, no matter what happens, we will finish this race on this restart. There will be no more green flags after this.
If the caution comes out before the white, the race is over. So we got to see the white flag, green flag back in the air. And there was a little hesitation, but not bad this time. Eastman has the jump to 60 below him, behind Eastman. Everybody holding on through turns 1 and 2. The 00 going for it there. That's Jared Morgan. He's trying to keep it on the outside to get a bit of an advantage. He's in 4th place. Tiny Horse goes to the bottom. White flag is out off of turn 4.
White flag in the air. Final lap, 1 to go, presented by 1 to Go Studios as we get the last lap in here with Grosser in the lead, taking it down to the backstretch with a 6-car lead over the 99.
Grosser with the preferred line, the 99 Eastman right behind him. Holman in 3rd, and a challenge for 4th. It looks like Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson's got it off, but Justin Grosser will bring home the win tonight here at Martinsville.
Great job tonight by the racers who finished this race. Grosser finishing the race at the fastest lap.
Nice run for Grosser as they take you on. Trust me, this wasn't a boring race. I'm just ready for bed. As we get these guys, the top 3 lined up, we'll see if we can pull them up here for a little bit of word. And, man, I'll tell you what, Holman, I was kind of pulling for him being a South guy for the North track for that extra $25, but Grosser pulled it off for a beautiful win tonight. And a lot of guys congratulating the number 38 of Justin Grosser for pulling it off tonight.
Right, gonna get our grid, our results here again. Actually, let's go first. Let's do our biggest mover, because that's actually something you guys do here with the TTE Hard Charger Award, going to Chuck Sweating. 21 positions. Started in 27th, finished in 6th spot in the 75 machine. What a run for the 75, because I believe he was actually in the LCQ to get into this race.
Well, he was able to make it in. Obviously, Drew Holler and able to take 17 positions, still not too shabby there. Actually finished 8th position in that 47 machine. One of our South drivers tonight, still a top 10. Great run for Holleran.
All right, let's check in with, so I'm going to get us so we get all our drivers here in a row there, and I'll put it there, and then we'll pull our results. So Grosser, Eastman, Holman, top 3. Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson, 4th. Jared Morgard. Am I saying that right? I don't know. You race with these.
Maybe?
Mogard. Okay.
You
Chuck
can find that
Sweating,
address later.
Kevin Barrett Jr., Holleran, Nelms, and Robbie Clavey. 10th. That's your top 10. 11th was White, then Dula, Saggart, Hoffler, Mathis. 16th, Dan Janjanin, JD Rich, Thomas Stewart, Randy Nichols, and Philip Martin round out the top 20. 21st was Gary Eschen, Shane Loveridge, Matt Allen, Joe Witowski, and Marshall Johnson, 25th. Van Appelpolsky, Gordon, and Applegate finished down the top out of the 30 cars. That was your 5-star Realty Group 5-Star Realty Havoc at the Hot Dog Stand 125 here at Martinsville Speedway at Ridgeway, Virginia. Boy, a mouthful tonight. And we'll go ahead and we'll try to get with our racers here as hold them here and try to get to them, get a better camera angle on some of these guys to give you a good look at their racers as we came in tonight. This is the
Got a problem
60.
if I maybe talk to Holman here for a little bit?
No, you can go ahead. I'll
Yeah,
pull
we'll
him
see
up
if we
here
can
for
yank
you.
him up here.
I'll get him in here.
Mr.
There you
Brian
go.
Holman, one of the biggest chargers we had of the night. Unfortunately, with a little bit of an event with the 11 car here early, I thought it was net code more than anything. But man, what a charger back up to the 3rd position. You actually took the pole tonight, man, but you pulled off a top 3 podium run. Great run tonight, man.
Hey, thank you, sir. Yeah, it was definitely eventful, to say the least.
I'll be honest with you, I was kind of pulling for you because I seen that you were the first South guy being the North track. All you had to do is get up there in front and take home an extra $25 in your pocket. I know you were trying for it. You think you had anything if that last caution didn't come out?
No, 38. He pulled out to way too big of a lead for us to catch him. But while me and the 99 were running side by side, I was trying to do all I could to get second, but Justin, he just pulled way too far out.
Brian, I'm going to give you a lesson here. Now's the time to turn around and just give a little bit of lie. Yeah, I could have caught him. Yeah, I had him running down. Either way, man, you did a great race. Top 3, podium finish, like I said before. Anybody you want to thank here tonight? You got some sponsors on that nice machine.
Yeah, thank all the NSRL admins, moderators, all the drivers. You know, if it wasn't for all them, then we wouldn't have a fun place to race. And thanks to all the sponsors and everybody that makes this thing happen.
Brian Holman, your highest South finisher tonight in that 60 machine. Top 3, started on the pole a little incidentally, but able to take it back up to a podium finish. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, sir.
All right, we'll switch it up to Will Eastman. I try to slide it around here to get a good look at that Exalta 99 machine. Pull him up in here. All right, Will Eastman, you're in the booth with Harold and Ray Richer. 2nd place tonight. Did you have anything for that 38?
Nah, he was pretty good the whole race there. I just was lucky to hold off and get second there.
Bonus points for no incidents tonight, right?
Yeah, it was a good run. This is actually the first ARCA race I was able to make. Thursdays are usually not a good day for me, but I was able to make it here and glad I got to run.
And it's definitely a good run by the 99 machine. You kept kept her clean. You started in 10th, so you moved up 8 spots, and you guys were actually running some long tire runs there, 68 laps on those cars. So was that a strategy you were looking at? Maybe splitting this thing in half?
Actually, I wasn't aware of the strategy with these cars since I don't run. I was just trying to do what the leaders were doing, and I was actually better on the longer runs anyway, so I figured I'd just stay out and do what everybody else did.
All right, Will Eastman, 2nd place tonight. Who do you want to thank before we let you get back down to the team for celebration tonight?
Well, I'm relatively new to the iRacing deal, so I'm glad I found the NSRL because this is a great league. Street stocks, a lot of fun, a lot of competition. I know J&G Hardwood Flooring, big sponsor. So, and you guys for broadcasting.
We definitely appreciate it. You guys do a great job keeping us busy, and our fans out there love the heat racing that we get to set the field. So 26 cars go in on qualifying time. So I know a lot of guys love to put those qualifying laps. I'm one of those guys. I don't qualify too well, so I like that LCQ pot because I can race, but sometimes I can't seem to get the car. You know, those first 2 laps, especially with these ARCA cars, where you got to really get some heat into them, and it takes a little bit. They're like a little pretty sketchy sometimes in the beginning on fixed setups like you guys were running tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I didn't run these in quite a while in the game too, so it took a little while to get used to, but got a decent lap down and just try to run a clean race.
All right, that was Will Eastman, 2nd place, 99 North machine. Will Eastman. So we'll get with Justin Grosser, one of our league admins, as well as tonight's winner. Pull him on in here.
Harold, I hope you don't mind, but I caught
Go
up with
ahead.
Justin Grosser. Fort in Wisconsin, 10 years experience on the iRacing service, as well as a 9-year NASCAR tire specialist, and became a hell of an advantage tonight and pulled it out for a win from 12th place starting spot. You know, I've talked to you before, Justin. It's just nice to talk to you here in Victory Lane again.
Great, it's good to hear your voice, man. That was a pleasant surprise. I was not expecting to.
I can explain that.
It felt lives. I'm like, man, where's DJ? Is he gonna pop in, or is he?
I should have tried to get a hold of him, to be honest with you. But, you know, it's just one of these things that honestly.
What did you do with Harold?
I'm standing. I'm here. I'm not dead.
Oh, okay.
He didn't shoot me or nothing.
I thought we had a hostile takeover of the broadcast booth there.
Anyways, what it come down to is I was watching the race, and I'm like, you know what? He doesn't have a co-announcer. I was honestly supposed to spot for Matt Allen tonight, and I turned around and told Matt, I says, honestly, I don't feel that well. I want to kind of go to bed early. Then I'm watching the race. I'm like, he doesn't have a co-announcer. Screw it. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be right in. What the hell, you know? So, Justin, I'll tell you what, it was fun to call tonight, though, man, with you pulling it out there. And you did a great job starting on the outside of the front row, because I was wondering about that, why nobody else that I seen tonight did that, because you got to get that arc down to turn 1. You did a fantastic job doing that, man.
Yeah, so much of it is just about managing who's behind you. And it's funny how many parallels it draws to speedway racing. You know, when you try to line up, get someone, you know, you feel like can push you behind you. But in this situation, it's more like, who do I want to jam up the inside? Do I want to jam up the outside? It's just, it's an ever changing, you know, sometimes I'll look up and the person in 4th place will dictate which way I go. It's kind of a game you got to play here. These guys are all so good that you got to take any advantage you can get.
Well, see, that's one other thing I was pointing out earlier on the restart is we saw Brian Hallman there in 3rd place. He was one of the South guys. He had a chance to take home $25 bonus tonight, but because you started on the outside, Eastman had to have had a good jump, and Hallman would have had to follow suit to have the chance to do that. So both of them on the inside line. If you were in front of Hallman on the inside line, it would have gave him more of an advantage to try to go for the win. So I think he did a fantastic job. It was a good call. And obviously you backed that up with what you just said. But either way, I mean, dude, there's no way about it. You had the great line tonight, and you had the way around this facility.
Yeah, it was, man, I dropped the ball in qualifying. I've been really off on my qualifying game lately. I don't know what
I'm rubbing off on you, man.
Right, something's happening. But honestly, it just feels good to get back to victory lane here. I haven't won in the ARCA series here with the North-South Racing League, and it's been since August since I've won anything over here. And we've made a lot of really quality driver additions since then. And you get to a point where you wonder, with so many good guys, am I ever going to win again? And then to come have a night like tonight really makes you feel good. And just a clean race, man. For me, it was a clean race. I worked my way towards the front nice and slow, and it was really patient and got lucky on some restarts. And once I got to the front, I was like, here we go. It's time to put up or shut up.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the Street Stock League, you don't have to worry about it, because if I was running here tonight, you would have beat me too, so it'd be just another car anyways. But either way, in the Street Stock League, one of the many guys I enjoy running around with you guys on these facilities. But 38 Speed Code Machine Loves is what I've got on my screen. Anybody you want to thank, man, you got the top point to do it, and the mic wide open to do it as well.
Yeah, so just Jeff and all his folks over at 5 Star Realty Group, Brandon and Josh at J&G Hardwood Flooring. Those two partners really put this deal on. Justin Kelly with Kelly's Custom Engraving. We just got some really cool engraved Yeti cups. A bunch of the guys in the league here with the logo and everything. They came out really nice. That was cool. One to Go Studios, Track Time Entertainment. Everybody that puts this deal on, man, the admins, we all put a lot of work into this deal, and I just hope people enjoy coming to race with us.
Now, wait a minute. You said something about Pleasant Surprise. This is only my first time, man. I mean, you know, it's kind of neat that it kind of fell right into place, and we did our thing. And, you know, actually, it's not a lie, because I never really announced the ARCA tied before. But let's keep this from DJ. Let's keep this away from him. He doesn't need to know, you know?
My lips are sealed.
So,
Appreciate it, though.
It's nice to have somebody up in the booth, and I think talk to Phil and admins, and I like having, you know, people come in, and we have guest sponsors, commentators.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, really, commentators that may pop in from time to time. I'm trying to get some of my bigger name guys to pop in, but just hasn't worked out. But we've had a few drivers from other leagues come in, and I think that provides a whole new kind of a angle and kind of increases our fan base when it gets spread out. You guys have done a really good job with the NSRL. It's kind of interesting. Street stocks on Monday night, both races were won by racers from the other side. So the enemy at the gate basically wins for both. ARCA has been defended on both races.
Yeah, it's cool. Looked like it was a good night for the North here. Looks like we were first, second, and fourth. Looks like the South was third, sixth, and seventh. So we'll stretch the lead out there a little bit, get some points for the good side, and we'll go into next week and see if we can't take over there, break the streak.
Justin Grosser there with 38 machine bringing it home tonight in first place position. By the way, like I said, this is just an off the cuff thing. Don't get too excited.
All right, Justin Grosser, I think you got everybody there, and so we'll let him get back down to celebration because I know race wins, man. They're hard to come by with 30 car fields. It's you see NASCAR guys with 30 car fields that have never won a race and be running 10, 12 years.
I'll tell you, I mean, like I said before, these are a great group of guys to run around. I see some new names in here that I haven't really identified with before because most of the time I was with the North-South Street Stock League, and of course I race that on Monday nights myself. I used to, Harold, a little bit of a confession, I used to announce over there with the DJ, and I'm going to screw his name up because he busts my chops every time, Whitmire. But anyways, yeah, I used to be the announcer over there with DJ Network, Driving DJ Network on Facebook. So with that all being said, I appreciate you allowing me in the booth tonight. It was an off-the-cuff thing, and I figured, you know what, I'm going to go in and give it a shot to help them out a little bit. So if you want, we can run down the standings one more time. I see you got them up there. Whatever you want to do here, bud.
Go ahead. Fire away.
Justin Grosser coming on top. Will Eastman in second to the outside in the 99 machine. Brian Holman in third. He was only a little bit back, though. Eastman holding them off tonight. Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson in fourth. Jared Mogard in fifth. Chuck Sweeting is it Sweeting or Sweating? I see there's the name deal again. So I'm going to go with Sweating, which is what you called all night, in sixth place position. Seventh, Kevin Bartlett Jr., Drew Holleran in eighth. Josh Nelms in ninth. Robert Clavey, who ended up a couple laps down there, in 10th. Justin White, 11th tonight. Matt Dooley, 17 machine, will take home 12th. Kurt Saggart in the 13th position. Travis Halfer in 14th. 15 will be Jeff Mathis. 16, Dan Janjanin. 17, J.D. Rich. Thomas Stewart bringing home 18th. The 19th, Randy Nichols. Philip Martin bringing home 11 laps down in 20th. 21st, Gary Eshland in the Jordan machine. Had a little incident earlier, 23 laps down. Shane Leverage in 22nd. 23rd, Matt Allen, unfortunately disconnected earlier. And Joe Witkowski in the 24th. Marshall Johnson, 25th. Michael Van, 26th. Apel, unfortunately, disconnected. He was leading a few laps early tonight in the 27th place. Greg Prowski in the 28th. Jason Gordon in 29th. And rounding out the entire field, the 04 of Chad Applegate. Again, here from Martinsville Speedway in Ridgeway, Virginia. We really appreciate you joining us tonight from the 5-Star Realty sponsored North-South Racing League, as well as J.G. Hardwood Flooring, Kelly's Custom Engravings. And there's a few more that I really haven't gotten to because I don't know them just yet. So if you want, Harold, go right ahead.
All right, we have Track Time Entertainment. They're the guys that provide the custom-built driving simulators. You can dream it, they can build it. They were going to provide the hard charger tonight, which we've discussed earlier, and they will get their car and featured on the Facebook page. And you got the J&G Hardwood, 5-Star Realty, Kelly's Custom Engraving. And that pretty much rounds all of our sponsors out. Next week, we go to Nashville Fairgrounds. So we'll be next Thursday night. Did I get that right? Nashville Fairgrounds.
It was Atlanta.
It is Atlanta. Nashville Fairgrounds is set. It's the street stock. See, sometimes when you put the stuff together at the last minute, you kind of make mistakes like that.
Well, that sounds like my life and my announcing career. Don't feel bad about that. We're all good, Harold.
But yeah, it's Atlanta Motor Speedway. You're right. The Atlanta Motor Speedway. And it was interesting how you said it's a day race. Found out one time, if you try to put a night race in iRacing on the Atlanta Motor Speedway, you're going to do it with your eyes closed. There are no lights there.
Yeah, see? Got to remember that.
So that's why it's Hot Lanta is where we're going to next week. Typical Hotlanta, where the surface of the raceway is, near 100 degrees most of the time, which is going to cause the cars to get slippy and slidey coming out of that turn number 4. So there's going to be a lot of the same stuff we saw tonight, with the guys going to have to really get into that throttle a little bit gingerly to, make sure they're squared off when they're actually coming out of the corner.
Harold Darner, by the way, it's a weird way to meet, especially on live broadcasting, but I appreciate you allowing me in the booth tonight. This was a lot of fun to call, and a lot of fun to call with yourself, man. Appreciate it.
Right. I appreciate you coming in. And if anyone is, Aaron Rojo says, "Is this NASCAR?" I wish it was NASCAR. I'd be making a whole lot more money. But no, it's not NASCAR. But hey, it's the old NASCAR. I mean, I guess the ARCA would have been what, Gen 3, I want to say, or just before the COT car, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just before the car of tomorrow. So puts us back in early 90s, I think, if I'm saying that right. I had to double check. But yeah,
talking about the ARCA cars?
Yeah, the current ARCA cars. Yeah.
Oh, the current ARCA.
Well, the ARCA cars we're using in these. Yeah, these.
Yeah, these will probably be around the area of mid 2000s. Actually, the only reason I know that is, again, I'm not trying to throw out a brag here. I was involved in the ARCA Racing Series here a couple of years myself. These were the body designs that we used. In fact, one of the cars, to give you an idea, I was a spotter for the 13 of George Cushman. He had a couple of years involved in ARCA, and we had one of the cars that actually used to be the Square D machine. It was Bobby Hamilton's old car. In fact, we knew that because we got the seat out of it, and it was written on the back, all of his sizes and who it was. But either way, this was a car from the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. And, they went to a composite body and a high downforce body nowadays, and obviously that's where they get the top speeds out, and also a spec motor. But these cars here, I'm going to believe, you're looking at from the early mid-2000s, could be a little bit older, because you got to realize in 98 they came out with a Taurus, the first 4-door racing stock car, because I was at the first race that they had with them. I remember those round headlights, those ugly bodies. But regardless, man, the cars you're looking at nowadays, roughly about the early to mid-2000s. So, yeah, they're still out. I'm going to say probably you're right about the Gen 3, Gen 4, somewhere around that area. With the body design for NASCAR, and obviously they recycle them into the ARCA cars, and that's what you've seen here tonight.
Yeah, and I always found it interesting, the ARCAs, that as I watched races at Michigan International Speedway, got to get really up close and personal in my time in the military. Was down there with Joe Nemechek with his car. He actually put it on the pole the year that I was there. I believe that was in, I think it was 2006, if I'm not mistaken, for the Father's Day race when Junior ran the cream car. But it was interesting to see the ARCA cars, because they were using chips in the that would relegate the RPMs, and, rather than using the restrictor plate that we all famously talk about in NASCAR. But the ARCA, because it was a different series, a competiting series, which sometimes they played nice with each other, like at Michigan.
Yeah, and by the way, your Hard Charger Award you can see on your screen. I don't mind BSing with you and reminiscing, but Chuck Sweeting, 21 positions tonight. I see that on the broadcast. Again, no, we could talk about this forever, man. I love this type of stuff, man. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of cool to take and swap stories with old guys that have been involved in this. And I'm the old guy. That's for damn sure on the whole thing.
Yeah. I tend to be older than most people put me at. I got the Fit 5.0 working, so been doing this for a little while, and it's out of the Michigan area. But that's great to have you here, Ray. So anytime you want to come back, that's great. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, so for North-South Racing League in the ARCA series presented by the 5-Star Realty Group, I'm Harold Darner from Wendigo Studios, and in the booth with me tonight was Ray Richer. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast, and we'll see you at the next turn.
What an exciting race brought to you by Wendigo Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and